What is up, everybody? It is me back at it again here with another draft. I know you guys are tired of seeing me drafting, but shit, man, we're gonna do another one. And I am joined here with my best friend of this with the series Ascendance, my numero uno. Um, we just one of the best duos to ever do it. I'm here with Payton Dow. You guys probably recognize him from Ascendance Live Season 1, where he almost took home the victory, but was one vote short.
Thanks.
Payton, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm good. Hopefully my winner picks don't follow in my footsteps. Maybe they can pull it away. I'm just used to losing, so we'll see.
No. You'll win. So we're gonna do a little draft here of the contestants for season 2. It's going to be a nice even 19 player team. We're just going to go back and forth between myself and Peyton. We've predetermined the order being me first, of course, and with the agreement that I don't choose, Peyton's favorite player, I guess, of this season, which I will stick to my word as I always do with Peyton, and I will not choose his numero uno. I'll just start it off. I am going to take the person number 1 ranked on my board, which is Taisha.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So I am choosing Taisha because I watched her throughout, this past season of Ascendance 10. And I think that her style of gameplay is going to translate really, really well into this live format. And I think a lot of people are going to want to work with Taisha. I think she just has a magnetic personality. She's been doing well in all the orgs that I see. And I think she's going to continue that success here in this second season of Live, and I'm really excited to watch her play. And I think she doesn't have the most connections, but she does come in with a couple of people that she's familiar with, which I think is the perfect kind of middle ground compared to some of the other returnees who have a little bit of bad blood with
Not with that blood. She's an icon, though. I'm really excited to see how she does. Like you said, she's an Ascendance alumni, but she's very new, so she gets like both sides of the coin, which is really cool.
Yeah, and yeah, I think that this is going to be a great setting for her to get her feet wet with the live game, and I think her style of play is great for a long-term game. Kind of like lay low a little bit, play that social game that she's really good with, and if she finds her way in the end, as long as she doesn't get cut because people are aware of her likability, then that's, I think, the road to her success. But so I'm excited to have Taisha first, and Peyton, you can go ahead and take your coveted pick.
He was snatched away from me in the other draft that I did, sadly, violently snatched away from me. So I'm going to take the opportunity now to pick hopefully the winner, Mr. Drew. I think he played season 9 of Ascendance, I think. Yeah, he is one of my best friends. We met playing a live game, the Michigan Mole. And he did pretty well in that game. I know he did pretty well in Ascendance season 9. He got rocked out. So he obviously goes to bat for his allies and doesn't have a problem like going to rocks, I guess. So that could bring in a cool element to the game. I think he's pretty stern on his words. So like I don't know. I think the way he integrates himself socially, I think he's a good fit for a live game. And everyone loved him at Michigan Mall. So I think everyone will love him here. And I don't see him being a huge target right away. People don't vote out who they love right away in Ascendance. So I think he will fare pretty well, I hope. Let's see.
Yeah, I think Drew has all the capabilities of doing really well in this format. He's done well before. I think he'll probably continue that here. Only concern with Drew for me was, some people mentioned, in their intros, not wanting to see Drew, going after Drew, that kind of thing. But like you said, I think he just needs to get past the first couple rounds, and I think he'll be fine. He does have the live game experience, like you mentioned, which I think is a huge upside for the people that have that. So I think Drew's a great pick here. But
I think he either goes really early or he goes to the end. Like, I think there's no in between with him. So hopefully I picked the right one. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, so Drew's a great pick. And I am gonna pick my next pick here. Who is I'm not gonna go with the I do want to say that I do have a little bit of an advantage having seen Payton draft already. So I kind of am familiar with who he likes.
Go ahead, snap him away, bitch.
No, I'm going to go a different direction. I don't know if you had this person next for you. I'm going to take Erica.
Fuck.
I'm really excited to see Erica play. Again, I think she falls in a similar category to Taisha in that a lot of the same things that I said about Taisha, I think, carry over to Erica. Knows a couple of people coming into it, having played, a couple seasons of Ascendance already, first live game. But I think she has that personality that people are going to be drawn to, and I think that she is not going to be one of those huge personalities who jumps off the screen early and is like very in your face and kind of center of attention. So I think she'll be set up for another person who could be set up for a long-term kind of gameplay.
She had one of my favorite Meet Me videos. Like, I don't know much about her from online, so I just think it was very opening, and she was one of the most inviting videos that we saw. She had quite a lot of energy, I would say, like more than I thought she would have. So I think it'll be exciting to see how she plays. I can see her being maybe a little bit of a snake. Like, she's likable enough like me, but she can slither her way under people, I think. So we'll see. That's a good pick. I'm jealous.
Yeah, and she mentions in her video, there's a couple people from her season of Ascendance here, and she mentions, her alliance that Chris was a part of. And I think, that's a great, I don't know if many people are aware of that. So I think they'll work well together. And, we'll see. I don't see the snake angle, but if she is a snake, that'd be fun to watch too.
She's not a snake, but I can see her being like a little more cutthroat than people would assume. Like, she comes off very genuine, and sometimes, like, if you come to play, like, you can use that to your advantage and be a little bit snaky snake. Like, hello, like me, hello.
Yeah. So Erica is my second selection. Payton, you go ahead and take your next choice.
I think I'm going to go with someone who I initially thought was going to be my first pick for my other draft that I did. And then Drew just worked his way up in the rankings. He probably had my favorite intro video, my favorite Meet Me video. So much energy, reminds me of myself when I was 20. So I'm going to go with Carson.
Karkar.
He's so fun. Like, who wouldn't want to, like, be friends with him, honestly? So I think he's super, super golden for the first few rounds. No one's going to want to get rid of that much high energy. That's exactly how I survived the first few rounds. So I think if he can get a grasp on how Ascendance is played, I don't think he's played before. So I think if he can get a grasp on the format, I think he has the capability of going far. But I think if he can't get a grasp on the format, people are going to take his energy and use it against him and vote him out. So hopefully he can pull out some good wins.
Yeah, I think he is going to be for him, I wrote down he's going to be an entertaining character. I think some of the shit that he was saying in his intro video, what I was laughing at, all aboard the car hype train. I think he mentioned a little litty titty at one point, and everybody's there for a little litty titty. Like you just want to be around. Exactly. The only concern I have for Carson, I think you kind of mentioned it early, is I'm kind of worried about these people that don't know the format going in, because I feel like this cast has a lot of gamers and they're going to grasp it real quickly. And I think if he misses that, he could be in trouble early. But if he gets in with like people that, if he figures out the format and is, in the mix, I think he'll do just fine, like you mentioned.
Yeah. I could see him maybe possibly having the most like amazing confessionals. So I feel like he's gonna stick around for a while. I don't think anyone's gonna want to get rid of him. But I could also see him maybe being a little bit more of the flirty type, maybe, and using that because there's a lot of gay people in this cast, obviously. So maybe he can like use that to his advantage. I don't know. That's kind of what I did. So maybe he'll use it to his advantage. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. And so Carson off the board there with Peyton's second pick. I'm between two people here, and I don't know whether Peyton would take one of them. So I'm gonna choose with my next pick and hope that Peyton doesn't choose the other person. I'm gonna take Eric. I recently played a game with Eric, and I really enjoyed. We didn't work together, but I still really enjoyed him, and I think that's a testament to players in games, even though we're not working together. Like I could.
Hello. Did you die? Hello. Maybe I died. I don't know. Let me message him. Hello?
And I'm back.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're still frozen.
Oh, goodness.
What happened?
Did I click exit or something?
I don't know. All I heard was we played together.
Am I still frozen?
No, you're good now.
Okay, perfect.
Icon.
Yes. So you heard that I played with Eric.
Yeah, you played
Recently.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was saying, even though we weren't working together, I still really enjoyed speaking with Eric. And I think that, again, not really knowing the format, not knowing the format, not having that many connections, that's the only worrisome thing I have for Eric, because I think that if he can, survive the first couple rounds not having those, I think he'll do just fine. I think Eric also is going to be somebody that's going to be good with competitions, which early on I think could help, in the team portion. And then if he gets in trouble later on in the individual portion, he's a super capable competition person. And that's why I chose Eric. I think in the couple drafts that I've seen, he's been going later than I think he should be going, and that's why I'm just going to give him a little nod here at my third choice.
I've actually met Eric before. He came to Chicago to hang out with me and my roommate for some convention he was at, so we ended up hanging out. But he was a lot more shy right off the bat than I thought he would be, because I had already seen his Meet Me video once he was here. And I was like, whoa, this does not correlate. Like, what is happening? Not that it was bad. It was just I was expecting such different energy. So I think if he shows up and he's a little bit more like on the shy side like that, then it might work against him. So if he can integrate himself right away, I think that'll work. But if he plays the shy card and also not knowing a lot about the format. I think like that's too much negative starting off. So I think if he keeps his energy up right away, I think he'll be okay. But hopefully he can pull him out. He's really nice. I really like him. I just took him a second to like get comfortable and like be himself. So around a lot of people, I'm not sure if that would be the same or if he's comfortable around a lot more people, but that was just my experience with him. So hopefully he's good.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully he is he can kind of shake that off early and you know, make a deep run here. But Peyton, you are up next here with your third selection.
I am in between some people. But I think I just need to keep going on the train that I think I want to stick with. And I'm going to go with a person who I was very shocked to see be released. Super excited to see them play. They did amazing, and the org ended up voting themselves out at the end. So I'm going to pick Jodalee. I'm just super fucking stoked to see them play. Like, honestly, I never met anyone like them before. So super, super unique. Makes me laugh 24/7. Also a person I could see having amazing confessionals. So I'm super, super excited to see what he brings to the cast in the game, because it could be anything under the sun that this person brings to the game. So I'm super excited to see how they do.
Yes, and the Jodalee unmasking during the intro was, you know, wow, iconic. Jodalee is so fun. I think another Team TV. Jodalee is going to be Team TV. Jodalee is, I think, probably one of the players that's coming in with the most connections through the org. Jodalee has played, like you said, a full season, got very close to the end. I think they got fourth, and then came back for Ghost of the Past and got third. So there's players in the game that have played both that Jodalee is obviously familiar with. And I think just people are going to love Jodalee. Like, I, I think maybe a couple could, yeah.
Game, like, I don't, so crazy.
Right. So, I think that's another great pick. But that wasn't the player that I was debating between earlier. So yeah. I'm glad that I'm going
between a Ruby pissed.
What's that?
And it's probably the other one I didn't pick.
I am going to take Melissa.
Oh
damn. And I'm excited for Melissa because she got a raw deal in her original season. I just did a podcast with Scott Earl, the winner of her season, and she was not aware of the connection that Brian and Scott had, and she kind of stepped on that and got cut because of it. So I'm excited to see her come in here, you know, having played, kind of understand the format. She was so fun in the little mini game that Nicole and Papa run, or Nicole, I guess, just runs with the Ascend the Chaos. She's so fun with the TikToks and shit, like taking it so seriously, but like so fun. And I think Melissa is going to be a great communicator. I think people are going to be drawn to working with Melissa. Only concern with Melissa is if she does get, you know, towards the end game, I think people will view her as very threatening and might try to cut her like right before, you know, we get to the nitty gritty of a finale. But, you know, that with that being said, I do think she's going to go far. But yes, that's why I chose Melissa.
She's a queen, love her. I was gonna bring up Ascend the Chaos too. Queen, like go to the page, y'all, because she's freaking hilarious. But she is one of the older people. Not that I don't think that would work against her, but I think she's very much like she's a very, very intelligent person. And there's a lot of young people in this cast. So I think the fact that the other people are young may not relate to her as much as she can relate to them. So I think that it might be like throw her off a little bit. But if she can find her ground, like, girl, I am rooting for her. She was gonna be one of my next picks. Like, I love her. But yeah, I'm excited to see how she does.
Yeah, that's a great point. With the age difference, she just seems younger to me.
Yeah,
Like,
she looked very young, so she might not. It might not even matter. But I know she is on paper one of the older ones. I think, right?
yes, yes, for sure. We won't say her age, of course,
Yeah.
because
No, of course not.
we're not supposed to say it. We're not supposed to say it. But yeah, excited to see Melissa in this season. So Peyton, you are up next with your fourth selection here.
I am. I don't think I can morally do a draft without picking a woman. I'm going to switch gears from my other draft and pick Zoe, Queen. I played in an org with her. She got second, I got third. We were both in the finale. And she's very, very under the radar. Which I think there's so many big personalities this season that playing under the radar is going to be really, really, really beneficial. So if she can get a grasp on the game, I think her under the radarness will take her pretty far. Just hoping she can snag the right people. So I'm very excited to see how they do.
Yeah, Zoe was an interesting video. I thought Zoe was very kind of a player that was there for the experience a little bit. She mentioned working with Keaton as a person that I think she will be happy to see that's in the house. Kind of just wanted to make it past fourth, I think she said, which was,
I don't care if I get fourth, and that's it. Like, I was like, Queen, those people usually do pretty well. Like,
yeah, kind of like the hell, whatever happens, people. Like, they can get far. So I do think a couple episodes in, I want to see Zoe, and then I'll make a better kind of projection on what I think. But I think that's a great selection there for your fourth pick. And now I'm just trying to buy time looking at this list that's left. I have a couple people that I still have highly rated. That I don't know if Peyton not likes, but will take them. So I'm gonna go with Wesley. I'm gonna take Wesley here with my fifth pick. Wesley was the first reveal, and I was really happy to see Wesley being revealed. Mentioned potentially working on production before, I guess, talks moved into him playing the game. Obviously, Wesley has a lot of experience with live games, having run his own series, the Totem Pole, now the Penthouse, I believe it's called, which I think is a huge, huge advantage. Kind of understands what's going on. Has a lot of experience and background with that. And I really did like a lot of his answers with some of the questions. Didn't really care if he was a hero or a villain, kind of just wants to play to win. I like when people say that. So I could see him being, pretty cutthroat here. My only concern with Wesley is people are aware of him. He mentioned it, people are aware of, who he is, his background and experience, and might go after him. I know a couple of people said they don't want to see hosts of games in here, and Wesley, I think, is known for hosting that series. So I think he'll do well if he isn't cut early from some of those people.
I think you kind of touched on it, but I think the biggest advantage he has is hosting a game. He knows exactly like the time constraints. Like that, like played a lot of factors. Season 1 was like, we didn't realize how fast paced everything was going to be. You have like 5 minutes to figure out a vote, 10 minutes to do this, like 5 minutes to do that. And he knows like to start strategizing right away. Like he knows like, I'm not going to take time and let like 5 minutes pass before I can do something. And I think just knowing that like you have to be fast paced going in and like expecting that, I think is a huge advantage right away. And more than like just playing a live game experience, I think hosts know, like they plan that out all right beforehand. So I think he has a huge advantage going in, and I think other people will peg that. So I could either see him going right away or going to the end. So he's one of those other people that could kind of go either way. So it's a good pick.
Appreciate it. Excited to see Wesley back at it again. And I hope this experience is a positive one. I'm sure it will be. I know that, Nicole and everybody runs a great game here. So Payton, you are up next.
I think I'm going to. My draft would not be complete without who I think is the eye candy of the season. So I am going to pick Marvin. I have a huge crush on him, if anyone doesn't know. So yeah, he actually is one of my best friends. So yeah, I feel like any game I played with him online, he has been the snake. And he does not have a problem admitting that or speaking on it. He doesn't have a problem putting people in their place, speaking up for himself. So I could see him playing very similarly to the way I played, but I don't know if that would work out with there being this many big personalities. My season, there was only like 2 big personalities, so it worked in my favor. So I could see him clashing with a few different people. But I'm hoping he can freaking slay the game, so we'll see. But yeah, Marvin's my next pick.
Yeah, Marvin, I think in the couple of drafts that I've seen, I think he is also being underrated. I think his Meet Me or his intro video, people were a little underwhelmed with his like energy, but I thought I think that that was kind of just his like personality. Like he's kind of a little bit more laid back, and I thought he felt really natural. Like that was just like who he is. I've also played an org with Marvin, and Marvin I think likes to make big moves, and he doesn't really care, what people think of him.
He wants to do.
He does what he wants to do, and I respect that. So I think it's going to be fun to watch Marvin play. I think no matter what, whether he goes far or he doesn't go far, he'll go out on his own terms, which is always fun to watch. But with that being said, I still have some highly rated people that I'm not sure if
they're still here, so this is good.
Yeah. I think I'm going to take with my next pick Thomas.
Damn it.
I've played a couple games with Thomas. And super smart. Thomas is super smart, he's a lawyer, obviously. He attention to detail, I've heard. He is very attentive. Mentioned in his, was not aware that he ran his own game for a couple of seasons, I believe. And I think he's played a few live games as well, so he has experience. I think Thomas is being underrated, and I think that he seems like he mentioned being very fluid, and that's a perfect attribute for this particular format. You got to be fluid round to round. Everything's changing all the time, which I think is going to be great for Thomas. He seems like a gamer. I think he's going to pick up on the format quickly, and then he's going to make stuff happen. So I'm really excited to get Thomas here with my 6th pick.
He is, I think, like a dark horse for the cast. Like he also has hosting experience in live games, and nobody knows. Like he's not like a main host, so not a lot of people know. Whereas Wesley is like the face of the Penthouse. So Thomas still has all of this information that he can use kind of under the scenes. He doesn't have to be forefront with it like Wesley. But I also think he's super likable and also very straightforward. So I could see him kind of just laying low for the first few rounds. So I could see him going far. It's a good pick. That was my next pick, actually. So screw you.
Nice. Great value here in the 6th round. All right. Well, now you must make your next pick, Payton.
I feel like I do need to scoop up Kennedy. So I'm going to pick Kennedy. I think she always does very well in the orgs that I've seen her play. We don't necessarily get along the best in games. Like personally, fine, we're fine. But we have very different gaming styles. But I do know she's a gamer and she goes hard in the freaking paint. So I'm excited to see her
Going hard in the paint.
go hard in the paint. Basketball. I know basketball reference. But yeah, no, I love her. And her Meet Me was great. I think lots of good information. Got to know her a little bit. So yeah, that's my next pick.
Yeah, Kennedy's is like Carson, I believe 19, one of the younger castmates. I think Kennedy came off super self-aware, which is great. I think she understood some of her maybe things that get her in trouble in games. I think she mentioned she, tells people what it is, like to their face, and that could be bad in games, but she's aware of it. So I think she can keep that under control if she is aware of it. Mentioned, wanting to work with Keaton, so she has a connection coming in. I'm not sure if she's aware, if she knows other people, but yeah, I think I've always, like you said, I've always seen her go far in orgs, so I think she can do, maybe translates into this live game. And in the draft last night that I did, the person that drafted Kennedy mentioned her being really good at challenges, so another great attribute to have in this setting. So I think that's a great pick. So so I still have two people that are rated highly, really high, on my board, and I am going to take the one that I have highest rated. This person I have second overall rated of all the people, and I'm not sure why they are not going earlier in
I
drafts.
swear to God, if it's my next pick, I've been saving for them.
I'm going to take Jake.
Oh, okay, that wasn't mine.
I think you're probably going to take the other person, but I'm going to take Jake because I don't know what it is, why people are sleeping on Jake here. I think he seems to have the most live game experience of everyone, and from what I know, he's done well in a lot of he hasn't won like he mentions in his intro, but he has done well in a lot of them. He is, I think he mentioned that his job was game maker or something. Like, what's up with that? Like, I feel like that would be great to.
He's a really good of.
Yeah, super, and like the one game that I played with him was super strategic, fighting to the end. It was in a bad position early on, but was always fighting, always pleading. Doesn't have the connections, obviously, coming in, as a lot of these people don't, but some have played the org before. I think people are sleeping on Jake, and I think if Jake gets a couple rounds where people don't go after him, I think Jake can go far. So I'm stoked to have him with my 7th pick.
He is an icon. I played Mayhem Manor season 2 with Jake, and he was like one of the all-stars of the season. Like he went into multiple eliminations, saved himself multiple times, beat his placement from the first season by like double. He played Surviving Real Fuss shortly after that and did really well, played from the bottom the whole game. So he knows what he's doing and he knows how to get himself out of tricky situations. And he knows the right people to talk to. So I think he has all of the good characteristics for Ascendance. Just he needs to make sure he's playing Ascendance and not playing Survivor, because it's very different. So hopefully he can get a hold of the format. But yeah, I think people are sleeping on him, but he is a good player.
Yeah, so excited to see. That's a good point, though. It seems like he's more Survivor kind of guy. I know his profile picture is like him with a Survivor flag or something. So it'll be interesting to see if he can, get into Ascendance mode early. But with that being said, I think you might take the other person that I was going to take. So go ahead and take your
I,
7th.
I was like holding off because I picked them in my other one, and I don't even know. But one of the best energies I've seen. I think they have a nickname before the game even starts. So I think that's iconic. So a hot girl Chris up to Team Payton. I feel like if they integrated themselves a nickname right away, no one's gonna want to get rid of them. So I think he can integrate himself nicely. I don't think that he'll make it necessarily to the end, and that's why I kept him maybe further down. I think his social threat is going to be like no one's going to want to take him to the end. He's the only one with a freaking nickname, so clearly everyone likes him. So yeah, but he is on Team Payton.
Yeah, I see the trajectory of Hot Girl Chris being like that person that gets cut right before the finale. I could see that he being like a third placer. Like I think I wrote down that he might be a little bit of a floater, like just like a real social player that gets along with everybody. Maybe he's not in the big groups or the strategic conversations, but is kept around because everybody likes him. And then they're like, oh shit, we gotta get rid of comic book now.
I agree, 100%, 100%.
So that's a great choice. And Hot Girl Chris is going to be fantastic in confessionals, obviously.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But with my next pick, I'm going to keep on the Chris train, and I am going to take Christopher. Happy to have Christopher on my team. I think Christopher has, Erica in this game that I think is going to be a great connection. I think they'll work well together. I think Christopher is going to be super social. I think that Christopher could be cutthroat if he makes it far in the game. I think his downfall in his season, and he'll say this, is that I don't think he picked up the pace of Ascendance super well. But once he kind of got it, he kind of clicked, and it was a little bit too late, but he kind of understood the format at that point. A little bit worrisome here with it being super fast paced now. But he is aware of the format, which I think is a huge upside. And I think people will like him. So I am glad to have Christopher here with my second to last choice.
The games I've played with him, he's super, super likable. And then this might be a touch on like not picking up on the format very fast. But I think he just like not necessarily trust the wrong people, but like trust the wrong people. Like he's trusting the people that are already in minority instead of going and making bonds with the people that are making the big decisions. And he doesn't realize that until it's too late. So hopefully he can make the bonds with the right people. That's why I was saving him a little bit towards the end. But I think it's all about his first impressions and his first connections with people, because that's what he branches off of. He doesn't usually go from one side to the other. He usually just grows with his one side. So if he starts with the wrong side, I'm afraid he would end up on the wrong side. So, but who knows? Maybe he will integrate himself nicely from the beginning.
And we shall see. We shall see how Chris does. So Peyton, this is going to be your last pick because I have the first pick in the last round, and you will get whoever I do not choose. So who are you going to take here with your technically last choice?
I think. I was really debating on picking this person because kind of the opposite of why you would want to pick them. Like there was a couple people that said they wanted to see him and wanted to play with him. And I feel like those are the people that ends up not happening. Like I know sometimes people are like, I want to see this person, I want to see this person, and they end up seeing them, and like everything you thought doesn't come to fruition. It's basically just like saying, I want to play this way, and everyone knows the way that you say you're going to play pre-games, never the way you end up playing. So I feel like his pre-game connections could hurt him a little too much, but I think there is a possibility he could squeeze his way out of it. So I'm going to pick Keaton.
Keaton. Keaton's video, I think, was a trip. Keaton, I think he I think he changed his mind during the filming of his video. Like he was like, I just gotta lay low. I gotta tone it down. And then like the next question, he's like, you know what? You're getting full Keaton. I was like, what? I don't even know what you're gonna do, brother.
I played with him in one, like he was in that game where I got third to Zoe in, and he just was like doing this, that, the other. Then he would switch up. Like I don't know. His meet me video was like to a T Keaton. So I don't know what to expect, to be honest.
He's gonna be electric to watch. And I think he's the classic. He's either gonna, flame out real early, or he is going to make it somewhat decently into the game, and then people are gonna be like, all right, we gotta get rid of Keaton now. But nevertheless, it's gonna be fun to watch whatever the hell happens with Keaton. Excited to see him here in this game.
His stability, that's it. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. All right, so I have a choice between Paul and Ryan here. I am not familiar with either of them, but I guess I'm gonna go with Paul. And I'm gonna go with Paul because his video was one of the shorter ones, right? Didn't really have much context into, what he is going to bring to the table, but he mentioned trying to be like the funny guy that makes jokes, and I think his route to getting far in the game is being kind of a floater here, and just trying to make a couple connections and just kind of like stay out of the way of like these bigger personalities, which I think he can do. I could see a route where he does that. He mentioned, having a couple of live games under his belt, so I think that's a plus. And I just put kind of like wild card question mark under his description here, because I don't a couple episodes in, I'll probably have a better understanding of what Paul is going to be doing. But you can't really say this about anybody in the cast, like is an easy first boot, right? So you could really make a case for anybody going decently far, and I think Paul, goes under that category just like anybody else.
I've never heard of him before, and I saved him towards the bottom on both of my drafts just because he doesn't seem like someone that I would like, not necessarily not get along with, but not someone I would connect with right away. I just like, he's very Jeffrey to me. Like he's very much like amazing person, but I don't vibe and jive that well with. So, but he does seem really, really nice, but he seems very, very, very intelligent. So I think that could help him or hurt him. So I'm excited to see how he does.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the cast kind of reacts to Paul. It'll be interesting with the first couple episodes to see that. So with that being said, you have Ryan on your team.
Yes.
Ryan with the nice shirt, right?
Ryan is actually a lot of fun. He also played the Michigan Mall with me and Drew. So he has that connection with Drew. He was a lot of fun at the mall. But a little too much of like, I don't care about the game and I just came for like the alcohol and this, that, and the other. So he didn't really care too much about the mall. So I don't know if that's going to be the same vibe. He was a lot of fun. It took me probably a little bit into the second day to really get to know him past the surface level. But I think if he takes the experience that he got from that game and like puts it into this one, maybe he'll do a little bit better. We did get in a huge fight during that game. A shocker. So he's not afraid to get into an argument. That's freaking for sure. He lost the argument, just I'll say that. But no, he's not afraid. He's not afraid to get down and dirty. So I think that could hurt him or help him. So you never know. I am excited to have him on Team Payton. Obviously, everyone's welcome over here. So I'm excited. I think he's super stylish, which is really cool to see. So yeah,
Nice shirt.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited to see him play.
Perfect. And that will round out the draft here. So I'll just recap the teams. Team Duke, which I believe, I'm not sure my team name just yet. I have to do a little bit of thinking of that. Have Taisha, Erica, Eric, Melissa, Wesley, Thomas, Jake, Christopher, and Paul. Peyton, you have Drew, Carson, Jodalee, Zoe, Marvin, Kennedy, Hot Girl Chris, Keaton, and Ryan. How do you feel? How do you feel about your squad?
I feel really good. Like, I have a very solid team. I think my team is super, super diverse. I think your team is all one noted. No, I'm just kidding. No, I do think I have a diverse team, and I think I have such a mix of different personalities. Like, I have a few big personalities, a few people that I know will probably fly under the radar. So I try to cover every aspect of the game. Tried to pick some dark horses. So I'm super happy with how my team turned out, and can't wait to slaughter your team. So
we shall see. We shall see. I am very happy with my team. I got a lot of people that I had highly rated on my my ratings, and I'll say, like, going through these videos and watching everybody, I did not have many low grades. I actually didn't have a grade that was lower than a 5 out of 10. So super excited for the season. And Peyton, as always, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Obviously, I'll try to get you on one of the episode recaps that we do, kind of just shoot the shit and talk about how these people are following up the great season 1 here in season 2. But yeah, it's been a pleasure to talk to you again, Peyton.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, and so that's gonna cap it off here. Thank you guys for watching. If you watched all the way to the end, and definitely tune in to those episode recaps that we do after every episode of Ascendance. I believe it's starting. The first episode is June 16th. So tune in. Watch it on the YouTube, and yep, just signing off now. So peace.